sweet.
Okay. Anytime, David. Quiet, please. Here we go.
All right, Gabrielle Union, welcome to Microsoft. Super excited to have you here today. I know a ton of people are really excited to meet you, so thank you for taking time out of your very busy schedule to come and speak with us today. I'm going to ask a few questions, though. I'm really curious to hear your perspective on your experience and as it relates to some of the values that we hold dear here at Microsoft. So at Microsoft, purpose-driven work is really important to us. And what I mean by that is, the work that engineers, sales, anyone in their role at the company does, we want it aligned with their values and things that excite them. Can you talk a bit about your purpose and what draws you to a project that excites you?
Early on, I just wanted to be chosen. You're auditioning, you're getting rejected. At some point, it was just pick me. I don't care about the project. I just want to be picked for anything. But as I got older and I got a family, now the work that I'm most passionate about has to be so amazing and has to touch my soul. It has to feed my soul. The whole process, from the writing to who's in front of and behind the camera, from how are people being spoken to on set. The whole process has to be worth me leaving my family. And that's what drives a lot of my decisions. Is this project worth it? Does it feed my soul? And is it worth being away from home?
Another aspect of Microsoft, we really like to have employees focus on trying new things, taking risks, maybe fail, but also learn a little bit from that experience. So would you be willing to share an experience where you tried something new, whether it worked out or not, and what did you learn from that experience?
I really wanted to be a part of, the world of, the big tentpole movies. And for a long time, I wouldn't even be able to get in the room. The big action movies, the big, the Marvel universe, the Star Wars universe. So I finally got an audition. This is like last year. I'm gonna be 45.
Wow.
So talk about inclusion and diversity. This is like, I'm just now getting an opportunity. And so I stepped out on faith. I prepared like no other. And at this point in my career, I generally just don't audition. So I dusted off my audition, skills and studied and was off book and how to act against a green screen for an audition where I felt absolutely ridiculous. They only give you bits of the script, so in case you don't get it and you want to talk about your experience and leak spoiler, none of it actually makes sense.
Right.
They won't tell you where the scene exists in the movie. So it was literally like, Ghibli goop, Ghibli goop.
That's awesome.
And I felt ridiculous, but I also felt like I'm in the room. And that's what I've been asking for, just to be given an opportunity. And maybe that opportunity didn't exactly look like the way I thought it was gonna look. And I didn't end up getting the job, but even in my feeling foolish, I felt like I'd accomplished something.
At Microsoft, we really want all employees, whether you're a VP, an executive, or a frontline engineer, to embody the idea of being a leader. What are some of the attributes or qualities that you would describe in a great leader?
Listening skills, anticipating where the bogeys are, and putting a plan of action together ahead of time. Usually on a project, you can see where it could go wrong. It's more rare where you're like, I had no idea that was that. No, you had an idea, you just didn't plan for it. Plan ahead for the bogeys that you can anticipate. Did I mention listening? A great leader humbles themselves, embraces a bit of humility, and is open to the idea that they might not have all the answers. A great leader asks questions. A great leader puts people in positions to win, not fail. And a great leader leads even when no one's looking.
We believe that we need to have an environment that is both diverse, but also allows people to feel included in the workplace.
Yes.
So what advice would you give to our leaders, our managers, maybe even our employees at all levels? How would you cultivate an environment that is truly inclusive?
It's a challenge in that a lot of us are very rooted in you know what you know, and you do what you do. Based on your very limited experience, life experience. But you have to remember there's a global community. And for any successful company, you have to think globally. And if everyone in your department looks like you, that doesn't reflect the global community, and you're leaving money on the table. So if you can't embrace diversity and inclusion because you're a decent human being and you believe everyone should have a seat at the table, embrace diversity and inclusion because it's lucrative. And to not is to leave money on the table. And then once you have actually, accumulated a very well-rounded, diverse group of employees, let them do their thing. There's a lot of talented people, but if they're thwarted because they don't look like the boss, that's A, not great leadership, but B, that's not real inclusion. You're just collecting, diverse individuals, but you're not allowing them to win. But you're patting yourself on the back as if you've done something. And then listening. I can't say it enough. Everyone's experience in the workplace is not going to match. Everyone's definition of inclusion is not going to be the same. So you have to listen and believe them when they are speaking, and then act on it.
Right.
Because again, everyone's journey is different, and we have to embrace all of the stories and all of the journeys. And that's what real inclusion and diversity looks like, allowing each person's journey and story to hold value, and then acting on that value.
Okay, so we're gonna lighten the mood, and it's a silly question, but I am really curious to hear your perspective on this. So, if you were to come and work at Microsoft, what would you want to work on, and two, what would your title be?
I think I would like to create a position, if it's not already filled, Chief Marketing Director for after-hour cocktails. I feel super qualified for that.
Love it.
Where we just really focus on what the after-work cocktail will be. Perhaps I will employ a mixologist, a crew of mixologists from around the world to really get back to that diversity and inclusion that I was talking about. But yeah, I don't know what I would be qualified for here, except after work cocktails.
I would totally join that team. So,
Yes.
so you know.
Yeah.
All right. So I want to thank you again just for taking time out of your busy schedule. Really excited about your book. Microsoft employees were super excited. The line was around the corner outside to see you today. So thanks again, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your time here.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it.